Welcome, I'm Friar Tuck, and this is my epoch. Okay, so if you have somebody that sits there and they only see the negative in something, they're called a pessimist. If you sit there, you see somebody that only sees the positive in everything, they're called an optimist. Somebody who sits there and sees both the positive and the negative for what it really is, and then just kind of makes their own decision from there, that is a realist. Okay, and today what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a realist point of view for 15-minute cities, because most of the people that talk about 15-minute cities are either optimists or pessimists. Nobody actually really looks at it and goes, okay, here's the possible pros, here's the possible cons. Now, we don't know a lot about it because it's something that is recently, trended in the news and in the, from the World Economic Forum and all of that. So, what are 15-minute cities? What do we know about it right now? Right now, what we know is that it is a city design or a landscaping design to where wherever you're at, you're within 15 minutes of whatever you need, whether it be shopping, entertainment, work, school. Everything you need should be within 15 minutes. And, why would something like this actually be beneficial? Well, it has the ability to reduce the carbon footprint, because now you have less people traveling using cars, because the average person travels, I think, something around 30 miles or more just to get to work. And, because they live far outside of town, and then they got to drive into town to be able to get it. And, that is, driving up the price of oil. Oil won't be around forever. You don't even have to go with the whole global warming. You could always look at peak oil. And they've said that we hit peak oil in the 70s, and then again, maybe they thought, well, maybe we might have hit it in the 90s, but then we found some in Montana, and so there is gonna be a point where we hit peak oil, and no longer production will eventually go down. I mean, it's not like there's an endless supply of oil on this planet. If there was, it would be nice, but based upon our consumption and our continued gluttony, there's not going to be enough very soon. So, having something to where you put less of a stress on the natural resources is something that you could consider that is beneficial. Not only that, you don't have to pay for a car. With inflation, with everything else that's going on, a car, that's expensive. They're doing $1,000 a month for a car note, plus another $300 a month. I mean, you're basically making a house payment to own a new car nowadays. At least that's the stories that I keep hearing, is that you got stuff like that. So not only do you have to deal with that, then you have to deal with gas, and eventually gas is going to get up to $5, $6, $7, $8, $9 a gallon. If not because of inflation, because of supply, or because of international issues that are happening. So wanting to be able to have everything that you need within 15 minutes is logistically smart. Now, the means behind it, the intent behind it by certain groups to be able to maintain their control, or to be able to have control when they see that they need to be able to have control, that's the nefarious side of it. And you're always going to have people that do that. And a lot of it has to do with the culture of our society. We condone a lot of things that would be considered, just grotesque. But we condone it in the name of capitalism, or in the name of I would do it if I were in that position. So we can sit there and we can yell and complain about it, but the way that our culture is set up is we would do what they're doing. So why complain about it? They're lucky they get to do something like that. If I was in that same position, I would do the same thing. And knowing that is the core personality of the population, I mean, it is what it is. Okay, you connect the dots there. But having something like this is beneficial for you as a whole logistically, because your grocery store is within 15 minutes, your work, your daycare, your everything that you need is within 15 minutes. Now that kind of compartmentalizes cities. It means you won't get to know some groups and we'll get to know other groups. Now the nefarious part of all this is where they come in with the social credit system. I think that there are some benefits to having the 15-minute cities. Like some of the things that I'm seeing, instead of needing cars, they have these little mopeds, like little scooters. And people get on these scooters and they pay a little bit for them, and then they get to drop them wherever they are. It's a shared riding system, so it gets paid for a couple of times over, in profit and replacement and tax write-offs and all that stuff. And it allows for a quick mode of transportation in a more condensed area. And I think that as our population it gets bigger, this is part of the cause and effect. Now, if our population thinned out to where we could all live rurally, that would be something different, but that's not what we're dealing with. So we're living in these large cities, and they want us out of the smaller cities for one main reason. The more that we sprawl out into nature, the more that we take away from nature, the harder we make it on ourselves. So we need the area not only to grow, but we also need the trees. That's the planet's lungs. Without trees, we don't have air. And if we keep cutting down our trees and then growing our population, we're poisoning our air, and things like this. So as we get bigger, they're going to have to pack us in like sardines and get us to live in more efficient areas. Because, would you like to save an extra $2,000-$3,000 a month based upon today's costs? Just in automotive costs, we're talking about repairs, car note, insurance, gas, all that stuff. That's $2,000-$3,000 a month you're putting out for a brand new car. And for what? So that you can drive out of the city. And then, as things go up, as food goes up, you're going to have to make a choice. Okay. So I think that 15-minute cities have a place in society, and I think that it is a more efficient way to do it. Now, there are people behind the scenes, I will agree with you, that may have malicious intent. But a lot of the thing is because we would be willing to do what they do should we have the power, but to do it based upon our slant. This person wants to cram religion down your throat. This person wants to cram atheism down their throat. They both complain about each other, but they both do the same thing. And as long as we do that, then we can't complain about the way that we're being reorganized as a society and restructured. Because, we need to open it up for farmland. We don't need people, sprawled out anymore. Because the more that we sprawl out, the more we take away from what we need from the planet just to be able to sustain such a large population. Because you got to realize it takes, for every human, it takes so many acres of land to be able to support you, whether it be the foliage, so that you have the necessary air, whether it be the plants, so you have the necessary food, whether it be the necessary animals, so that you have the proper food, whether it be access to water. You need all of these things as a human being, and it does take a large section of land. Even though you live on a small part of land, it is a large ecosystem that has to be in play to be able to take care of us. And so the more of us that there are, the harder it's going to become. And this is why we will see the homeless population explode the way we are. Not only because of averages and numbers, just because 10% of 10,000 is smaller than 10% of 100,000. Okay, but it's still 10%. And that's really what we see in the homeless population. It's about 1% of the total population. 1. 2, as economics go down, as economics get bad, as infrastructure erodes, as money gets wastefully spent, as the value of the dollar goes away, you are going to see where a lot of people will not be able to afford a place to live, or even if they could afford a place to live, everything is so ran down because they keep collecting tax money, but then they don't put it towards what you're supposed to put it towards. They put it towards this project and that project, because they think that it's just an endless supply of money, and everybody thinks that this is endless. But what starts must stop. What goes up must go down. What you do goes around. There are certain truisms in life, and we, as not only as a people but as a nation, as a society, need to be able to accept this. So anyways, guys, you know how to help the channel: like, subscribe, share, become a comment, or become a member of Patreon, or whatever. Anyways, it's all down in the description if you know what you want to do. But I really would like your subscription if you like what I talk about, and if you would like to be part of my live streams. They are Saturdays at 10:30 in the morning. And I would like to see you there. That's a live Q&A where you can ask me whatever question you want to ask me, and I will answer it for you right there live in my live Q&A. See you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.